as a new councillor, Ronaldo Agostino, who represents the downtown, wants to gather more information before making decisions.
I'm a businessman downtown, and I see, 5.3% increase on budgets, and, I know for budgets that I do within my businesses, that's nothing. A 5.3% increase year over year is not a big deal, but when you talk about the city and you're talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, of course it is. But for me, I'm excited to get into the training that we're going to be starting very soon to really dig into the city budget, because it's my first go around and I want to learn more before I speak more.
Political watcher Daniel Ablisser believes the review committee will be able to bring the tax hike down to something closer to half the inflation rate. But he wonders about some items that will be discussed behind closed doors.
The largest one was a $4.8 million item that's listed in corporate accounts for the budget. A $4.8 million item is really about a 1.25% property levy increase. And because that's listed in the levy increase, they're not suggesting that's a one-time cost. So I'm curious what that $4.8 million per year ongoing in perpetuity is.
Ablisser believes City Council should consider striking a service review committee during this term to take a hard look at what the city can afford to provide and what it can't. The Budget Review Committee will meet for 4 days, January 23rd to the 26th. The public is invited. The budget will be finalized in April. Dale Molnar, CBC News, Windsor.
This budget also includes changes to parking fees. Right now, meter parking runs from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., and staff want to extend that by 3 hours to 9 at night. They also suggest increasing fines and tickets. The recommendation is to nearly double the fine for paying a parking ticket late. That would go to $40. Fines for parking in a school zone, near a fire hydrant, or a no stopping zone would jump to $80. The draft budget says all of this would bring in $750,000. Business owners downtown say it's going to cost them customers.
I don't see it making sense, especially for the downtown area. I'm big on, making the city a lot better experience-wise down here and saving people money. So I think an increase right now at this time wouldn't be too great.
They want to change the parking to 9 p.m. The only people this is going to affect are people that would come down for dinner, that would come in and have a free parking spot for, a couple hours so they can grab a bite. Now they're going to be paying for parking.
Well, for downtown, it's been a challenge getting people to come down here lately anyways. So dealing with other hurdles, it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt us. And I know they're on it. They enforce pretty hard down here.
The city's chief financial officer says this suggestion comes from a line-by-line review of user fees. The recently elected councillor for downtown Windsor doesn't want these parking changes to happen.
Because now what you're saying to the dinner crowd is you're saying, hey, think about going somewhere else that has a parking lot, right? Thinking about taking different options. And I think the return on investment right now downtown is less charge for parking, not more. I want to see things go the other way. And that way you're going to develop more businesses. You're going to bring more people down there, which means you're going to make more money, which in turn is going to bring more tax dollars in. So that's what we need to see downtown.
Police have arrested a man wanted for attempted murder in Forest Glade. This comes after police released a video of a suspect earlier this week. They say he knocked on a door last week posing as a charity worker in the area. He then entered a home and assaulted a woman with a weapon. She was dealing with life-threatening injuries, but is now in stable condition. Police say it was a targeted attack. The Humane Society is offering a large reward to anyone who can help find out who killed a 1-year-old husky. Angel was last seen on July 29th. That's when she was reported missing by her owners. Later that day, she was found under a bush in the 400 block of Karen Avenue. The Humane Society says she was covered with severe burns. She was rushed for medical care, but did not survive. A $2,500 reward is being offered for information that leads to the arrest of whoever was responsible. And we have more details on our website. Premier Doug Ford's government is going to ramp up the number of surgeries done in privately run for-profit clinics. A senior government official says Ford will make the announcement next week, but there's debate over whether the move will ease the strain on Ontario's hospitals or make things worse. Our Queen's Park reporter Mike Crawley has the story.
At this standalone clinic in London, Ontario, the staff perform orthopedic surgeries. It's covered by OHIP, and it's done at a far more efficient pace than in the local hospital.
Essentially make this quicker, cheaper, faster, and better for patients.
The centre is run on a non-profit basis and managed by London Health Sciences. The Ford government wants more surgeries done outside of hospitals, but in for-profit clinics run by the private sector.
I don't even like the word private because it's really not.
The Premier says Ontarians will not have to pay for surgeries in these clinics. OHIP will.
Simple stuff, not complicated. Knee replacements, hip replacements, cataracts. These are no-brainers that are backlogging the healthcare system.
The idea is to shorten wait times for those surgeries, but what's not clear, how that would help the rest of Ontario's health system, its overrun emergency rooms and burnt-out staff.
I totally agree with their desire to do more surgery by moving surgery out of the hospital into the community. Smart idea, 25% gain in productivity. But moving it to a for-profit model is simply dumb.
Ontario already has a few for-profit surgical centres, including the Shouldice Hospital, specialising in hernias. One concern about doing more surgeries in private clinics, that they could siphon staff away from hospitals.
If you're going to increase the amount of surgery done in independent health facilities, you got to get some nurses. And guess where they're going to come from?
There's a fixed pool of medical workers. We're not going to be able to magically create a lot of nurses and doctors.
The agency that regulates Ontario's physicians and oversees for-profit clinics says its officials told the government months ago that the move would worsen hospital staffing shortages and increase wait times for other, more urgent care. Mike Crawley, CBC News, Toronto.
And now we've got a very exciting story for you. See if you can spot the outlier here. We're going to give you a hint. It's the giant egg between the apple and the orange. And that egg is 4 times the size of a normal one. It was found at Simpson Orchards in Leamington. Corey Adamson co-owns the farm with her husband, Jason. They can't seem to crack which chicken actually laid the egg, though.
He brought it in the house right away, and he's like, look at this egg. He couldn't believe it. He's never seen an egg that big. Jason had actually thought we'd probably find a dead chicken because of the size of it, but we haven't found a dead one, so we have no idea which one it is, but it's still in there. The one thing I did kind of find out is I guess there was a big egg somewhere. I can't remember where, but when they had cracked it open, it was actually an egg inside of an egg. We have a couple that are on the larger side usually, like maybe 1 a day or 2 a day that are fairly large that we can't fit into the standard size carton, so we just hang on to those and eat them ourselves. But this one was nowhere close to being able to fit in the carton.
And they are talking about live streaming the opening on Facebook. And yes, they did place the photo beside a Bud Light for scale. So, okay, while we're on this, please indulge me. Let me try to crack you up with a quick joke here. Why do the French have only 1 egg for breakfast? Because 1 egg is enough. To a national story now. By most measures, Canadians pay the highest cell phone rates in the world. The latest marketplace investigation looks into why and the barriers limiting more competition. David Common reports.
Canada has among the highest wireless rates in the world, more than Australia, France, and Ireland, where we asked users to carry out identical tasks.
I'm going to get you to open the YouTube app on your phone.
Comparing costs to what global consulting firm Rewheel calculates as the data rate for each nation.
So the YouTube download for the average cell phone user in Australia?
17 cents to do that, but in Canada, $1.03.
Whoa, that's such a big difference.
Yeah.
That's wild.
That's huge.
Yeah,
it's huge.
Humongous.
Canada's wireless companies say the country is vast, infrastructure therefore expensive. But Australia is also big, sparsely populated in areas, and yet way cheaper.
I don't even bat an eye if I'm on or off Wi-Fi, like it doesn't matter.
Canada's rules favor providers with their own infrastructure, making it very expensive for new competitors to start up. Entrepreneur Anthony Lacavera tried creating Win Mobile and building his own towers, because the big three, he says, made it very hard to lease space on theirs.
We're allowing these oligopolies to continue to function and to consolidate even further. But we can't fault them for that. We have to have the government step in and fix this once and for all.
The wireless industry points out prices have gone down recently and argues there is competition between Bell, Rogers, and TELUS. David Commons, CBC News, Toronto.
And tonight, Marketplace puts the big three phone companies, Bell, Rogers, and TELUS, to the test by setting up their own call center of Canadians to find out who gets the best deal. So tune into The People versus the Phone Giants tonight at 8 p.m. on CBC. Let's take a live look outside there. It was a very chilly day today and a chilly night as well. Colette will be here after the break with your full weather forecast. Stay with us. Making the perfect pizza is something our city takes pride in. For one mom, seeing the dough get tossed around can also make your heart melt. Her son has excitedly watched pizza makers create one of his favorite pies for years. And earlier this week, he was offered the chance to step around the other side of the counter, leading to an afternoon of pure joy.
We met Al just from ordering pizzas throughout the years, and Riley and him just started chatting. Al invited Riley one day. We made plans to go in last Wednesday, and Al walked him through step by step of the whole pizza making process. Riley got to make 2 large pizzas and a garlic bread to bring home.
I saw his face. He looked so happy.
He
What did
was.
that mean to you as a mother to see that?
It melted my heart. Al was so patient with Riley, very, very kind, guided him through everything. Riley was just beaming from ear to ear throughout the whole process.
And now, is this something that Riley's talked about a lot, is wanting to make pizzas?
Yeah, and he's talked about it previously since talking with Al about going and getting a chance for this opportunity, and even asked Al to hire him.
I make a pepperoni, cheese, bacon, mushrooms. You know that big cooking machine you have to put in? After that, you have to cut it and then wrap it around. It's good. It's good.
Yeah.
And like there, I want to work there.
Hello, Naples Pizza. How can I help you? Would you like the order for pickup or for delivery?
Mr. Riley Fowler and Amanda came in to order a pizza, and I saw how enthusiastic and how happy he was watching me do it. I offered for him to come in and make his own pizza, and got him in here, got his hands dirty in the flour. He excelled. He did very, very well, and I could see the happiness and the peace. He looked like he was in his element. He was so natural, and he was so happy. He was making the pizzas, and the whole time he was telling his mom to take pictures. I told her to take some pictures, and he was so excited about sharing his experience with his relatives and friends and the classmates. I know I made a friend for life, so.
I need to know, what's your favorite pizza in Windsor?
Naples.
Colette Kennedy is with us now for a look at our weather forecast. And Colette, we're lucky that we had such a heartwarming story there because it is really cold outside.
Yes, it really is. You know, we talk about in summer months, not the heat, it's the humidity. And now we're back into the kind of winter terms where it's not the temperature, it's the wind chill that you really need to start thinking about in terms of just how cold it's feeling. So the temperatures have been falling off. -2 in Windsor and Chatham-Kent, -3, -1 for Sarnia. You may fare slightly better there with some of the help from the lake because of the wind direction for tonight, but temperatures dropping off. And I'm just showing you the sustained winds here on this graphic, and you can see, and this is what the wind chills are based off of, that they're still kind of holding their 30 to 40 kilometers an hour. They're a little bit lighter further east, and that's essentially what's going on with the wind gusts, is that we still have areas in southwestern Ontario where we're seeing some of the gusts over 40 kilometers an hour. So just keep that in mind, that this is what the wind chill in terms of it feels like with the sustained, but you get those winds blowing. Here's a look at some of those gusts, and it feels obviously even worse when it's 50 to 60 kilometers an hour that they're blowing in. Still a few flurries. Again, this is more with the winds in the lake than it has to do with that main system. The synoptic system has pushed on and moved away to the east and taken the snow and all the mess with it as well. We do have some clouds kind of still hanging in towards tomorrow morning, but they're definitely thinning out, getting higher thin cloud, and then breaking out of that into sunshine. So we will see sunshine then later Saturday into Sunday as well. And then again, we'll get a few clouds coming in later Sunday, but high, thinner stuff. In terms of our accumulations, you know, lesser amounts. You really picked up more when you get from not necessarily London, but over towards Kitchener-Waterloo, and from there where it was more significant. A look at those readings, though, tonight. These are significant, dangerous when you have wind chills of -10 to -15. Tomorrow, though, we should get back up to freezing, maybe just below, and then we see things really picking up and going in the other direction into next week.
Thanks so much for that, Colette.
You're welcome.
And when we come back, Josiah Sinanen will be here. Stay with us. We want to let you know about a collision in the city's East End. This is at Lauson and Tecumseh. Police are saying that Lauson Road is closed in that area, and video from the scene shows at least 2 vehicles are involved. One flipped on its side, and people are being asked to avoid the area at this time. The ArtSite Gallery in downtown Windsor is welcoming a new artist in residence with a special collection that's launching tonight. It's called Of Stuff, and it's put on by Jazz Keeler. They're a young artist who will be here from Halifax to display a collection of works that reflect on the value we put on material objects.
I'm really excited to share this body of work, which is all about basically everyday objects, the objects we surround ourselves with in our daily life. I'm interested in digging deeper into the histories that these objects embody, the life cycle of objects, how they occupy a space in our emotional lives, and what we carry with us, whether it's just the emotional histories that we take with us throughout our lives or the physical objects that stay with us.
And for more, I'm joined now by Josiah Sinanen.
Hello.
Josiah, you actually got to speak with the artist, you got to see some of the pieces, so tell us what makes this exhibit so special.
Yeah, Kat, something that really impresses me about art in our city is that the local scene is always bringing in something new that brings our community together. So this collection that Jazz has put up in ArtSite is really something that I related to. We talked about it a bit more on Afternoon Drive as we toured the pieces about how so many of them are inspired by her constant moving around Canada, from Ontario to New Brunswick to Alberta to Nova Scotia, and how every time she moved, she found herself ditching the mass-produced items like a plastic laundry bin, and instead she opted to keep and protect things like her dad's guitar or her mom's sewing machine. And she doesn't even play guitar or sew.
Things that are a little bit more sentimental.
Exactly.
What are the pieces that really stuck out for you?
Yeah, Kat, let me show you a couple of my favorites. The first one here is a piece called Homing Ritual, and Keeler painted it during the pandemic as a study of how we allowed our homes to hold a space of meaning beyond the structure of its walls through different rituals. So to me, this one feels kind of cozy and familiar with the objects that everyone's surrounded by, and the way she paints really stands out to me. Here's a second one I really enjoyed called Home, which I have some up-close details of here. It's totally acrylic, and you can see how she wove in objects to show meaning to what makes home, giving this sense of belonging, and home is what you make it.
I love that. And tonight the collection actually launches, so what should people know about that?
That's right. So actually right now at ArtSite, you can head there before 9 p.m. and see her collection for free, meet Jazz, and get some complimentary treats. And then tomorrow, between 1 and 5 p.m., there will also be an open studio where you can see Jazz at work and contribute to the collection of thoughts and concepts surrounding home on a book that Jazz is also working on. So that's tomorrow between 1 and 5. So viewers can fill in those pages with their own reflections. That's a look of what it will be like. And definitely check it out if you can. It's well worth your time. So thank you to ArtSite and Jazz for letting me see the collection early.
Thanks so much for this, Josiah.
Thank you, Kat.
In other news, Nike is paying tribute to a Canadian city, inspired by one of its signature delights, the Montreal bagel. The Montreal bagel sneakers launched today in a downtown boutique, and people lined up to get them while they're hot. Corbina Oduro has more on the excitement.
There's nothing better than a Montreal bagel right out of the oven, except maybe being one of the first to get your hands on this, Nike's Dunk Low Montreal bagel.
I'm new to Montreal. I love food, and I think that's an awesome collab.
We want bagels! We want bagels! This morning on St. Catherine Street, the lineup outside the shop with the exclusive early launch stretched around the corner. Some lined up here as early as Thursday afternoon, waiting to get their hands on a pair.
You know, the fact that they're doing a Montreal-inspired shoe, when are you going to ever see that again, you know? So I think everybody's just on the same page, you know?
The box is the city on it, the artwork, it's a cool box. You know what? There's not many shoes out there that have your city on it. So it's kind of, it's interesting to have your city represented by such a big company.
The shoe is beige with sesame seed graphics and a blue swoosh the company says pays tribute to La Belle Province. Or is it the company weighing in on the eternal debate? Is it St. Viateur or Fairmount? I'm going to ask some people right now. What does it represent?
It's got to be St. Viateur.
Quebec.
La Belle Province, Quebec.
Yeah, Quebec too. I'm gonna say Quebec.
Once you grab your pair of shoes, you like them, you want to take them home, you can come right over here, grab a bagel and eat it. And the bagel smells just like the shoes.
No, I'm not going to eat the shoe. I'm going to eat the bagels with the shoe, you know? I'm going to wear the shoes, I'm going to eat bagels with them.
Not everyone plans to wear them.
And we're super stoked about the shoes because I'm sure it's going to make me a millionaire someday. They're going to go up in value so much.
gonna sell them, pay the debt and everything.
The shoes are already being resold for nearly double the price, but others couldn't wait. When are you going to wear the shoes?
Right away.
In the snow?
In the snow.
Damn. You're gonna damage the shoe.
If it is what it is, bro.
Cubino Duro, CBC News, Montreal.
Anybody else craving a bagel now? Because that's all I can think about. That is it for CBC Windsor News, but I want to remind you that you can find more news on our website at cbc.ca/Windsor. We'll have all of your coverage on the proposed budget that Windsor City Council is going through right now. All of the details you can find online, and we will, of course, continue to track that. There are public meetings happening about that as well, and we'll be here to try and break it all down for you. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter as well. Thanks so much for watching, and have a great night and a wonderful weekend.